girls on top, Kirsten and Gemma flying with them here today, because of course it is time to welcome the AerosuperBatics wing walking team, and they are indeed the magnificent men in their flying machine. Here again for the final time at the 28th Airshow in Southport. Please welcome AerosuperBatics and the Wingwalkers. Death-defying stuff. They go up and up and down, 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 and in perfect pairs formation yet again. These girls facing winds of up to 150 miles an hour, but still happy to do their own acrobatics on the top of the wing. Absolutely wonderful, dreamy and romantic aircraft. These used throughout North America, hugely well-known, popular training aircraft, the Stearman. But the essence of this very much going back to the formative years of the flying circus, when reportedly an American flyer at the end of the First World War called Charles Locklear, with a problem facing him on an aircraft, decided to go out and take a walk along the wing to try and fix it. Extraordinary story, not quite sure how much in that, but he invited a lady friend of his with the equally extraordinary name of Ethel Dare to join him, and they became the first wing-walking act of the 20th century. Moving on now to the 21st century, keeping these wonderful aircraft going and in the same memory and style of those early wingwalkers, when there were a huge number of pilots after the First World War with little jobs around, a lot of surplus aircraft as well, and an opportunity to take the ladies flying, have some fun, land on the roads, land in the fields, put your head down in the barns, or even fly through the barns. These are the sort of antics that were developed in the heyday of the 20s and 30s. A wonderful sound from those aircraft coming from much uprated engines. When these were first produced, these aircraft flew 200 to 300 horsepower engines, but now fitted with a big Pratt & Whitney Wasp Junior 985, producing 450 horsepower, and then a great big Hamilton 10-foot diameter propeller on the front end, producing all the power required to do this particular display. Really outstanding. And of course, when the engine and everything, all the levers are fully forward, those tips going supersonic. You see the girls waving at you. They really are working hard there, I can assure you. Strapped to their harnesses, they can swing around on those rigs. And during the course of the display, they will hopefully, fingers crossed, disconnect from that and just using their safety line actually crawl around as the original girls did and do a proper series of wing walking. Coming back in with that ever popular environmentally friendly baby oil smoke on Dina, pulling up now, the G's coming on. And as they go over the top, the heart races up to the mouth. The negative G comes on, it feels very uncomfortable. Girls, of course, got absolutely no choice in that. They just have to have complete faith in the pilots. Leading from the front, Dave Barrell. A great personality on the air display circuit, also a very competent engineer, had his own motor business for many, many years, and built up lots of hours flying parachutists and towing gliders and the like. The other aircraft being flown by Martin Carrington, who's actually the chief pilot of the company. He's got well over 8,000 hours now and been a pretty firm fixture at AerosuperBatics. They're based in a lovely little airfield called RFC Renkum. Yes, it's an old First World War aircraft up near Cirencester. The whole outfit belonging to an equally great character, Vic Norman, And owning 5 of these aircraft, they often base them out in the Middle or the Far East. They're a very international team in many respects. And split colour schemes here. You can see one of them still bearing the memories of their last sponsor. But just keep your eyes on those girls there, stretching out, doing all those aerobatics, not a care in the world, and all at the same time as flying at 150 miles an hour. Absolutely tremendous roar again from those propeller tips as they go supersonic. And of course, while Dave is leading, calling the shots, you've learnt a lot about formation aerobatics this weekend. Of course, it's Martin's job to replicate, stay in position, keep the same speed and trajectory, whilst Dave makes sure that they're flying in the right direction and height and speed and everything else as well. In her first season with the team last year, now into her second, was bitten by the wing walking bug and really excited, just loved going flying with these aircraft. Her background was in trapeze and aerial arts. Loves doing handstands on the top of the wing. Bit of an adrenaline junkie, as many of them are. Tiny little girls, both of them. But Kirsten's favourite view so far was looping over the Gobi Desert at sunset, such is the international reach of this air display team. Coming in straight at you now, potentially good photographic opportunity coming your way. And that's Dave calling the shot as they split right in front of us. Tremendous sight indeed. On the other wing is Gemma. She graduated from the Northern Ballet School relatively recently in July 2016, has been dancing professionally within the performance industry. And her most memorable moment, she tells me, was touring Panama, performing with a Mexican circus. You have to work pretty hard as well. It's very competitive to get a slot on the wings with this particular company. Always a challenge. And a much heralded job it is as well, because they're all professionals. Guys now making sure they have eyes on each other. The girls just stretching out. You can see them on the top there. Speeds close to approaching 300 miles an hour. Gemma, equally adrenaline junkie in many respects as well. She loves just doing these roller coasters that you've been watching here. An active skier and scuba diver. She trained in aerial circus art, specializing in silks and hoops. Discovered very much her adventurous spirit whilst touring India, and qualified as a multi-style yoga teacher and runs weekly classes today as well. Coming up now for another great crossover at the middle of the center. Smoke just lingering there in this very relaxed wind. A super environment. Visibility still fantastic, and the cloud being very kind to us today as well. going way back to the 20s. Lloyd Stearman was the brainchild behind it, the company eventually being bought out by Boeing. And literally hundreds and hundreds of young aviators were trained in these aircraft. Stearman initially set the whole manufacturing process up in Wichita and Kansas. Founded that company back in 1926, before then going into production in 1927. Smoke coming back on, the girls still doing their acrobatics on the wing. Do give them a wave, won't you? They're working really hard here. Going for another closing speed of around 300 miles an hour. Great split. Guys will adjust the profile now. Having very much gone through the first phase, at this stage they'll be climbing up, getting a bit more altitude, using all that altitude, of course, as other pilots, getting that bit of extra energy. Although these big aircraft, they are quite agile. They're fitted with an extra pair of ailerons on the upper wing to give them the extra roll rate and the extra power they're needed, of course, because despite the girls being quite tiny, they do produce quite a lot of drag. Props really churning away there. Terrific engines, these, hugely reliable. Of course, they are open cockpits, so they have to put up with whatever weather comes their way on the way home. And of course, luckily, 2 cockpits, so the girls get to take a rest on the way back as well. Well, here they come now with the smoke back on. They're going to dive back down. Be heart in the mouth moments, then